Hi, everyone. It's Maria, and welcome to the Breaking Up with Toxicity podcast. Thank you for being with me today. Each week, I will connect with people as they share relatable life experiences. We will talk about and at times challenge reoccurring unhealthy and toxic patterns that keep you from the changes you want to see as you break these unhealthy cycles. So let's get started and see where this show will take us today. Be sure to listen and don't forget to follow so that you never miss an episode. In adulthood, people repeat these and they project them onto their kids. And people don't recognize, oh, this is what it's all about. It's an expectation of me to always pick up the phone if my parent calls. Well, no, your parent has an anxious attachment style. They need validation because of whatever is going on. Maybe they don't feel secure or they need someone to validate it. So now they project it onto you. So odds are you're going to do that to whoever is in your life.
Got you. Yep.
And you think it's, I want to
You
call
think it's
them.
okay. You think
Yeah,
it's, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
right. None of this is bad. It's so important to understand. And it's like, okay, so you know what I tell my clients? Before you call or text somebody, ask yourself, why are you doing it? What are you looking to gain from it? What value does it have?
Hmm.
If you ask that question, I'm sorry, of yourself half of the time, you probably wouldn't send half of the texts that you do.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. I try to avoid texting everybody. There's only a few people to where like group text and stuff like that. Just because I hate typing half the time, I'm typing to everybody at work, and the last thing I want to do is have a meaningless conversation. So I'm right to the point. You want to go out this weekend with the boys? No. Okay, done. You're out. That's it. Easy, quick.
Right. But in intimate relationships and then even in
Oh yeah.
friendships, how often somebody does, it's because a lot of times when, like, what do they call it? Spamming. When that happens, that means whoever that person is on the other end is feeling anxious, whatever
Yeah.
insecurities are going on. Their expectation hasn't been met of that person to respond. Now the fears start to set in. And then that's why they go into this like, I need to talk to them. I need to know what happened. I need to know where they are because it's their insecurities.
So does that somewhat relate to as well as let's say, sudden breakup, you ghost somebody, right? I know that's been a popular thing, and one person wants answers, and all they can try and do is just keep trying and trying and trying and reaching out to somebody, and they're not getting anything. Does that kind of fall into that loop as well too?
Like when someone ghosts somebody.
Yeah, yeah. Like, let's say you're talking to somebody, right? Let's say a guy or guy and a girl are talking, and the guy's like, I'm not really feeling this chick anymore. Let me go talk to another girl, right?
Hmm.
Doesn't even tell her I'm not gonna stop talking to you or anything. Give her no closure whatsoever. Does it come to a sense as far as like it's a closure thing as well?
Well, that all depends. Maybe he thinks that that's like okay and doesn't really see that there's anything wrong with it. Maybe he's not doing that to be rude or mean. It could have been normalized for him
It could have
where
been normalized, yeah.
a lot of things are normalized. It's like the
Hmm.
expectation of to be courteous and respectful. Somebody else may see something wrong with it and somebody else doesn't. The person that sees something wrong with it needs some sort of validation. They need to know. Not, letting them know and just doing it doesn't sit well because sometimes what that could mean is like they may feel, even though they may not say it to somebody, they may feel like, well, what's wrong with me?
So this still circles back to that enmeshment
Oh,
type of
your
behavior, right?
attachment style, your
Yeah.
family, if your
Uh-huh.
family's enmeshed, the probability is a lot higher that you will develop one of these unhealthy attachment styles.
Got you.
And especially if there's trauma,
Hmm.
intergenerational trauma. It's around. It could have been your great, great, great parents. And each generation, this was projected on them. Each generation modified and changed it up a little bit. So
Hmm.
we keep on breaking cycles. And when people keep on breaking cycles, many times people don't know what this is about. That's why when I hear people, even you, like, oh, it's part of our culture. What is part of our culture? Food is part of your culture. history is part of your culture. Books are
Hmm.
part of your culture. Music and dance. How you treat people, how is that part of your culture?
Truth. That's the truth. But I think again, like to their defense, they didn't know. I mean, I'm
No.
not even trying to defend them either. It's just
No,
like
no, they didn't know.
that's their thing. It's like they didn't know. So like me questioning, saying, "Well, why the hell does this person have to show up? Why can't I be like my buddy?" You know what I mean? It's just kind
Well,
of like,
why can't you do that? So I'm going to
oh,
challenge you. Why can't you do that?
well, well, I will stand my ground with a few things. But once that time comes, I would love to come back on here and literally explain to everybody
Tell everybody.
how I either won that battle or I lost it miserably.
Okay.
All right, because I would love to share my experience regarding that.
All right. I'm going to help you prepare now. Well, do you have a pen and paper?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay, write this down. You can
Yep.
start preparing for this. So no matter when this happens, you could not only prepare, you could start practicing.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, time boundaries, and sexual boundaries.
Okay.
Okay. You have homework.
I do. I do. You're leaving me off with more homework that I had in college. I'm not even kidding with you, you know? I literally just showed up and took tests at the time and I wrote an essay here and there, you know? You're giving me more
I
homework
know,
than I
but
had in college.
this all helps understand you. You can still make the same choices that you want to make. You'll understand where they're coming from and why.
Hmm.
That's what
No.
it does. That's what it does. Most people, especially in enmeshed families, there is no such things as boundaries. If you were in the
Yeah.
middle, if you're in the middle of doing something and you were interrupted. It didn't matter what you were doing. You just got up or you stopped what you were doing. That
Yep.
leads into adulthood. If you follow the patterns, there start to pay attention to patterns. Geniogram. That's a wonderful exercise to do. It's like a family
Geniogram.
tree. I have everyone work on a geniogram because it shows the dynamics in relationships with people. Even though like you can tell me many different stories about various people, relationships within the
Hmm.
family, but when you write it down, it makes it concrete.
Yeah.
Visually you can see this. So the way it works is at the bottom you would put yourself and your sibling. Above that would be your parents. And then above them would be their parents. And then if you wanted to add, let's say, your uncles and aunts from both sides. Some
Damn.
people,
That's like 100 people just right there.
I know, but you know what? The story that it tells, it's amazing. It is
I believe it.
amazing.
I
The
might I
pe-
might copy my aunt. My aunt does that currently, so I might have to copy. She even does it extended too. I give her a lot of credit as well.
family tree says gives you different information. This from a therapeutic um,
Hmm.
exercise. This is all right. I want you to describe what your relationship is like with your sister, your brother, whoever it may be. Then I want you to describe what it is it like with each of your parents separately. And then your siblings' relationship with your parents, and then the relationship between your parents together, and then their relationship with each of their parents, right? So that's your grandparents. And then the relationship that your grandparents had with each other, and then uncles and aunts. You'd be amazed what you learned from there. And a lot of the times, what I hear people say, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm like my aunt. I'm like my uncle. I'm like this aunt. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was actually just gonna use her family tree thing and just have it already all spread out for me already instead of doing double the work. To be honest with you, but yeah.
Well, that's fine. You can do that, but you can look at it from a relationship dynamic and mental
Hmm.
health, point of view,
Of
and you'll
course.
have a
Of course.
very different tree come out of that.
I believe it. I believe
A
it.
very different
All
tree out
right.
of it.
I have some homework. I have homework again.
It's all for the good. The more you
It
know
is. It
about
is. I know.
yourself, and it's actually not, it's complex, and at the same time, it's not. When you understand the complexity, if that makes any sense.
Hmm. No, it
It's
makes
not
sense. It makes sense.
yeah. Because even, like, thought patterns, it's like, well, what are thought patterns? Well, we all have these, but they become irrational when when they're problematic in our life, and
Yeah.
again, that means something different for everyone. But when people recognize that they're always stressing or they're always upset, I'm going to give an example. Someone that personalizes, they call a friend, the friend doesn't call them back. They may feel like, what did I do? What did I say to them? Did I get upset? This does impact your quality of life. Maybe not. There's a lot of discomfort. Most people don't think about this thing. They just kind of like, oh, that's just how they think or feel. Learn what it is, though, because it has a name.
Yeah.
Once you know the name of it, actually, are you willing to do an exercise that I do with my clients?
Sure. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay.
You know me.
Okay. All right. So, you're sitting down?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay, good. I want you as relaxed as you can be. No stress,
Hmm.
no frustration, no anger, no nothing. You just like chill. You're just sitting there. You're relaxed. You good?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay,
I'm
good.
good. I got my eyes closed. I'm meditating. I'm ready to go.
Okay, that's really relaxed. Good. Now, I'm going to, and listen to me carefully, I'm going to wrap a bubble around you. You're going to have about a half a foot of space between you and that bubble. You're going to sit nice and comfortable in there. You're safe. Good. Nothing can touch you.
Hmm.
Now I'm going to walk over to you. So I'm walking over to you and I'm going to tap on that bubble. Tell me exactly how you felt and what you felt when I did that.
Is it weird that I felt like the top of my forehead move?
Okay. What else did you feel? What's a
Nothing
word?
really, other than
Any
just
word?
kind of relaxed. To be honest with you, I felt relaxed. Should I not feel relaxed? Somebody's getting in my personal space and I feel relaxed. Why is that relaxation?
I
Maria, are you putting me to sleep?
No, this really tells a lot about people. And people at first, I know they're like, "Oh, Maria, this is so silly." I'm like, "No, it's not. Wait, you're
No,
going to
no,
see how much I'm going to learn
you got a
about
bubble
you."
around me. You got a bubble around me, and I feel relaxed. Why should I feel what's it called nervous? I got a bubble that is a foot and a half away from me. Why should I feel nervous? You poke me. I know who you are. I don't feel threatened. I feel
Right.
relaxed.
So what that tells me about you, that tells me that you are detached from everything outside of that bubble.
I'm detached from everything outside of that bubble. So I only like things that are inside of my bubble.
No, you are safe in your bubble. You keep things outside of your bubble. That's what that tells me about you.
Oh, I did.
You
Yeah,
think
yeah. I think so. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. I'm an open book. I'm okay. Give me another
I was like,
exercise. Let's do
"Uh-oh,
it again.
uh-oh." Now we're getting
Let's do
too
it again.
personal.
Oh no, no, no. That's perfect. No, no. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. I don't.
You're very guarded. Now, let's say you had reacted and said, "Oh my god, the bubble exploded." I'm like, "Okay, but
Hmm.
all I did was tap on it. I didn't bang on it."
Yeah.
That's all I did. So when someone says that to me, I say to them, well, guess what? That means you catastrophize and you personalize.
Mm.
So they always have part of their homework is to figure out, well, I give them a homework sheet and they determine their irrational thought patterns. Then I'll do the
Gotcha.
exercise with them and I have figured it out based on how they respond. Now let's take somebody else. They they're good, they're calm, they're all relaxed, right? And I tap on that bubble and they overreact like, "Oh my gosh, you punctured the bubble." I'm like, "Okay, so you're calm and relaxed. Why are you letting everything in your body in your bubble?" So they look to bring everything inside. Oh, this simple exercise tells people a lot about what goes on
Hmm.
within themselves.
Interesting. No, no. I mean, honestly, I thought you were going to go and say, "Hey, I tapped the bubble. How do you feel?" I was like, I feel pretty good. You tapped it. I didn't move. I just felt like a nice sensation on my head. I was envisioning, you tapping it, but it felt like, real. It was easy. It was easy. So I guess,
You don't
huh.
let people inside your bubble. Now
No,
now
no,
that we
no, no.
spoke about
I am impenetrable, okay? I am a 6'4"
so
behemoth.
which which attachment style?
Oh, attachment style. I don't
You could
know.
figure I don't know if you want.
Do I want to figure it out?
Yeah, do you want to figure it out?
Yeah, why not? You can tell me. I'm okay
But
with
this
it. I'm okay.
but this brings us back to our culture, even though I think we got sidetracked, but it's well, no, because you talked about that date and something being respectful. So respectful is from our expectations. Where do our expectations come from? So that's part of someone's core beliefs, what they were taught. How are they taught and instilled to us? It's our environment that we grow up, that we grew up in. All right.
Hmm.
So my mom and dad reacted and acted this way. They projected whatever stuff, and we all do it. You're going to do it. We all do it to each
Oh yeah,
generation. But it's recognizing it and undoing it so that it is healthier.
got you. Okay. Yeah, it is recognizing it and understanding. Oh shoot, right? Isn't that like the whole goal of it? Is like recognizing what your behavior is and then saying, "Oh shoot, gotta watch myself from doing that."
Well, you break the cycles. That's like that
Hmm.
was actually good that you brought that up between you and your friend. He's breaking a cycle. He's not disrespecting anyone. What
No, no, I
he's
don't. I didn't think
doing,
so either. I
yeah,
didn't think
yeah.
so either.
But to others, it may be viewed that way. He's breaking a
Hmm.
cycle. You're maintaining it. There's the difference.
Yep, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. But like I said, the challenge is when the time comes, and let's push back on it because I'm going to make sure everybody hears this that I do come back, and you know the battle is about to begin, and
Well, I mean,
I hope not to go down without a fight.
well, let me ask you this. What you mentioned in a actually, you know what? I wanted to get some insight also about what your girlfriend thought about your debut, but I also you said something in there about your cousins and other relatives who never got to date or see their wives.
Hmm.
And I also did want to touch up on that and hear from you. Like, what have you noticed that's different? Because we're really good to say that we're breaking cycles, and to an extent we are. However, at the same time, we aren't. We tell ourselves something that is not a total truth because people are so afraid to talk about it.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing with previous generations and whatnot. Whereas you kind of were set up like with somebody, and that's kind of it. For example, my parents were in an arranged marriage, right?
Hmm.
So you kind of look at that, and you're just kind of like, how the hell did these two people come together and make a life with one another, right? Whereas I'm kind of like, there's no way I could even do that in my life because I want to know who the heck I want to be with for the rest of my life, you know? So it's again, it's one of those situations. Um, where I kind of broke that mold for sure. I even
Hmm.
broke the mold with a couple of cousins where they, let's say they went back to the motherland, picked somebody out, and was like, oh, that's it. Or hey, I met her 9 months ago by so and so. She comes from a good family. But what the hell does a good family mean? Like, yeah, I don't
What
know
is a
what.
good family?
I don't know. I don't know. What does a good family mean? How does a good family define what a person is? You know what I mean? What is a good family? Right? I think everybody has a different variation of good and bad, right? So I'm just kind of like, all right, well, you know what? I'm gonna take my sweet old time and I'm gonna try and figure out what I want in my life, right? So far right now it's worked out so far. Of course I'll get backlash. I can't make everybody happy and whatnot, but I got to make myself happy first, and not put other people ahead of time. Because of a good family. I don't really care about that. I care more about the person than coming from a quote unquote good family, like most people care about.
Reminder, part of what you're saying is boundaries. When you had that, the our first episode together afterwards, when you spoke to your girlfriend about it,
Hmm.
anything that developed that you two recognized or that challenged the both of you?
Um, to be honest with you, the number one thing had to be where we kind of looked back at it at least, and kind of identified like, hey, maybe we're not 100% breaking molds, but we are. We're living together. We are, actively dating. Obviously, coming full circle, getting engaged and stuff like that. Are we still the same culture? Yes. I don't think that's necessarily a problem. It's more of like a personal preference when it comes down to things. But again, like a lot of times that we looked at it, um, it was kind of like, okay, well, it's not that bad. We are doing, our best. But then again, there's other things to where it's like, why the hell did you even think about going on a date with somebody that wasn't me? And I was like,
Mm.
this is 10 years ago. But it was the quick joke. We got over that really fast. Obviously, she knows I had a life before, I met her, and that's something she's accepted as well too.
Why wouldn't she?
No, no, I'm just saying,
No, it's
because
okay. Part of my role is to challenge people. It's not proving a point to be right. It's to help somebody recognize that sometimes they don't even realize how many things they are continuing to normalize.
yeah, no, of course. But ultimately, I ultimately came down to the point, I told her she knows a lot about, what happened in the past. She didn't know specifically that I went on a date and I actually, you know, paid for her dinner or whatever it was. And she just kind of laughed at it. And she was like, win some, you lose some. She goes, it's okay. I'm still the chosen one. And she kind of made a little rhyme and rap to it. So, that's it. It was cute. It was cute. It was nothing, as far as kind of being, how do I say this? Kind of being jealous in a way that I went out with somebody that wasn't her. She was just kind of like, yeah, I know, She was just like, you had your fun. She made like the little
Hmm.
eyebrow raise, like, you had your fun, huh? And it was just kind of like one of those things where it's just like, you brush it off. I didn't think it was any harmful or anything like that.
Okay. These are all good things to learn and talk
Hmm.
about. Keeping open communication is very important. No matter how maybe uncertain and challenging it may be for somebody, just talk about it. That's how you continue to grow and to break these cycles.
Hmm.
What are things that you would like to continue to break that don't sit well with you and you just haven't stepped out to do it yet?
Tough question. I think I gotta think about this a little bit more. I don't
Okay.
know right off the top of my head. I would definitely have to sit and think about it. And off the top of my head, honestly, like I've tried not to be a people pleaser like I was once before. Um, Definitely do my own thing. My bubble is my bubble. Take the challenge very light, very very seriously. But I think that might be something, right? Is probably my bubble, right?
Well, your attachment style. Think about what I said earlier. When we learn these things about ourselves, we either have two choices. We either change them or we don't. And if we don't change them, we pass them along.
Yeah, true, very true. Yeah,
So
but
if
you know
someone
what?
is good with passing that along, then you stay with it. If you're not good,
Hmm.
then you change it.
Yeah. No, I will definitely come back to you and let you know what exactly I would like to challenge myself with, if that's
Okay,
okay with
good.
you.
There's my question to you. That's how I'm going to leave it off with you.
All right,
To be
perfect.
continued.
To be continued.
All right, John. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Maria.
All right.